What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 10-7 MMA show. We are back, per usual, on Mondays and Fridays, at 1:30 p.m. PST. So we are here. What's up, everybody? Western is back. He says, lads, what's going down? Barat is here as well, right off the jump. What's up? What's up? Okay, so it's funny. We're in a weird period of time right now in terms of the UFC and MMA. There was no event last weekend. We've got something coming up this weekend, but we are about 10 days away from UFC 320, which is very, very exciting. And we're going to be talking a little bit about UFC 320, some news about Pereira and his current weight, and, just a bunch of other fun little topics. We got a couple other comments. Tehran says, what's up, homies? What's up? What's up? And MBR4 Production says the GOATs are back. By the way, Justin also made a video over the weekend. It's now picking up some steam. It's about who he wants to see fight for the main event for this UFC White House card. A lot of people still think it's not happening. I fully think it's going to happen. I mean, obviously anything could happen, right? Like something could go wrong and they could decide not to do it. But I believe it's fully 100% happening. So I don't understand the doubt. But we're going to hear from Justin as to why he thinks the UFC White House card should be headlined by Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz. So that's going to be pretty cool. A couple other comments. Tehran A, hope you're well. Okay, Justin, we're going to start off the show talking about the White House card. It's funny. It's, what is it, like 10 months away, 9 months away, but it seems to be that everybody can't stop talking about it, including myself, and it's very interesting. Now, even talk show hosts, I think this is good, even talk show hosts are starting to talk about it. So I'm going to show a clip from Jimmy Fallon on the Tonight Show. I don't even know who's on what now. I never watch any of these shows anymore. But even Jimmy Fallon is talking about this White House card, which is crazy. Listen to what he has to say. Check this out.
Hey, did you guys see this? Dana White just released the first renderings of the UFC fight being planned for next summer at the White House. Take a look at this. Wow. Well, good. I was afraid it would look ridiculous. Oh, my God. Yep, an outdoor UFC fight, but don't worry, if it rains, they're going to hold the event under Melania's hat. So we're going to be fine. It's all good.
So, I mean, whatever. It's a pretty lame joke. People were making a comment or a joke that he should be fired because that joke was so bad. But I don't understand this. What's happening here? Look, why is that? Why does this look so ridiculous? Justin, what's your first reaction to Jimmy Fallon somehow jumping on the bandwagon to like make fun of the UFC? It makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna agree straight up with you. Like, I don't really understand it. I don't really think it's funny. I don't get it, man. He's probably maybe he's a Democrat and he just doesn't like that. The Republicans, which I'm not going to assume, but obviously Donald Trump, and then Donald Trump being buddies with Dana White. I actually have no take on it because I think it's ridiculous. I mean, it looks like everything is going forward. I can't see all these promises being made and then them breaking the promises next year. And I don't see what kind of. And I hear people, oh my God, you can hear people like laughing like it's the funniest joke they've ever heard. And I don't really get it.
Yeah, they're fully planning it. It was actually the president's idea. It wasn't even Dana White's idea. Dana White. Well, I mean, you have to take him at his word, but I believe him. He has said multiple times, I'm not the one that went to Trump and asked for this, because this would be like a big ask. He said that the president was the one that said, hey, this is what I think I want you guys to do. And then, excuse me, sorry, my stomach's a little messed up. And then they started planning accordingly. Matthew says he's a liberal. I mean, fair enough. I mean, that can be the case. But it's still, I just don't see the purpose of coming after this event. It's just so weird to me. It's completely separate. But I think you're right. I think it's politically based. To me, the rendering looks awesome. Like it's lit. Dude, this is going to be the craziest thing. I was on MMA Joey's stream last night, and I was saying, and look, people have a tendency in life for whatever reason nowadays, but especially in the MMA YouTube space, of just being like kind of a negative Nancy. You know what I mean? It just happens. Like, people want to complain about everything, about how these cards are terrible, or it's not as good as it used to be, or what, you know what I mean? Like, it's just endless. And I think it's just whether you have a positive or negative mindset to some degree. But anyways, so I was in the chat room and I was talking to people about how I'm so excited for this card, and people were like, why? Like in kind of like in a negative way. Why are you so excited? Is it really that big of a deal? And it's like, Justin, think about all the fights that you even talked about in your video, and there might be multiple of these fights that might be on here. Let's think about it. And we're going to talk about the main event in a little bit. We're talking McGregor. Hold on, let me put up the first title here. Sorry, I forgot to do that. We're talking McGregor versus Diaz as a potential main event. We're talking also maybe John Jones is coming back. We're talking on the same card, Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes. We're potentially talking about either Islam or Ilya or some other match. I mean, this card is going to be mind-blowing. Forget about whether you're American or not, or whether you think this is a pipe dream or whatever. But if it actually happens, what they're talking about to put on this card, if you're if you're a combat sport, even in the slightest, of course this should excite you. It's absolutely unbelievable. And think about how fun UFC 300 was, where they had that super stat card where like even the early prelims were fire. It's lit. They're going to do the same thing, but even bigger and better here. So regardless of how you feel, the politics don't even come into the equation one iota for me for this, not one bit. I just can't wait to see the event. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I mean, this is going to be the greatest of the great. Dana White said, if you guys watch my video, he came out in an interview, said this will be the greatest card. Now,
yes.
I mean, and think about the fighters he's going to have to put on. I mean, I think, how Dana sells the UFC and, it's almost turning into a striker's delight because they want to see big knockouts. I mean, they're going to put incredible fights on the card. And if they want McGregor on the card, you guys know my take on it. But honestly, the true fight that I want to see in the main event, I'm going to make a video on this, is Ilia Topuria versus Islam, because, and this is why, this is going to be arguably one of the biggest cards that's ever happened. It's never been at the White House before, where they've never had two double champs compete against each other. So I think all the things to make this card even more is put something in the card that that fans have never seen before. We've never seen two double champs go at it. Ilia Topuria versus Islam is the fight to make for the main event.
Oh, that's what you want now. So you're off the.
Well, so that's the reason I'm saying that is because you said, hey, Justin, this is the main event he wants. He wants Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz, and I don't want to. I mean, I'm not correcting you, but if Conor McGregor fights if he fights in the main event, that's the matchup. But if Conor McGregor doesn't fight in the main event, Ilia Topuria versus Islam is the fight to make, because again, we have an historic event of being at the White House, never been at the White House before, and then to have two double champs go head to head, it'd be the first time the UFC has ever seen that. And I think, and then you have Kayla Harrison, Amanda Nunes coming back. I mean, can you imagine a co-main event of Kayla Harrison taking on Amanda Nunes? Then you have your co-main event, Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz, number 3. And then your main event. Never happened before. 3 huge pay-per-view main events, all back to back on one card. I think it'd be a spectacular, a spectacle.
Now, I know you mentioned in your video actually that you don't want to see, you don't even want to talk about John Jones anymore. He's a massive disappointment to you in a sense. I will say, I got to admit, so I think you would rather McGregor not headline it, but I got to say, and maybe whatever, you're the fighter, I'm more of the fan, obviously, but I guess I don't know what that says about me, but I got to admit, I'd love to see John Jones on this card. I'd love to see Conor McGregor, 2 of the biggest stars in the sport. I know one's been out for a while and been teetering back and forth, and then obviously Conor's been gone for years. But for me, and especially just for the gravity of the event, beyond the scope of just regular hardcore fans that I would love to see Islam Ilya. But I think just to give it that oomph, we need one of those two guys, even both. I think would be phenomenal.
So,
all right, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sorry to cut you off, but you're okay with essentially the main event being an exhibition fight? There's no title implications at all when Conor McGregor fights. If he fights Mike Chandler, it's the battle of the losers. And I know I made that video. It's the battle of the losers. These guys are 2 of the most losing guys in the division. I mean, yes, is the fight exciting? Would I watch it? Of course I'd watch it. But again, the main event, let's promote this event. Hey, we got our 2 biggest losing stars are going to main event at the biggest card ever. I mean, why? You have John Jones. And the reason I'm a John Jones fan, I think he's done incredible things. If you guys saw my video about John Jones, why? And the reason I don't want John Jones in the main event is, why are we going to award this guy with the biggest card in the history of the sport when he's put so many fighters in bad situations, waiting for a title shot, waiting for this contender shot? John Jones should not be awarded for his actions, and all he's doing is showing other fighters it's like, hey, when you reach a certain level of stardom, you can get whatever you want whenever you want. You don't have to follow the rules that all the other fighters do, and I just don't think he should be awarded for that.
No, and I get that, and I bet you, I'm sure that's part of Dana White's hesitation. It's first of all, I would say that it will be impossible for anybody to actually reach the level of what John Jones has achieved. So he's kind of a one of one situation. But that being said, I think the UFC wants to set a precedent of letting fighters know they don't dictate things, they don't push them around. They're the ones in control. So I think by extension, they may not put John Jones in to show that authority and show that power, or they might do it very much at the last minute and really make John Jones jump through hoops. Like, I imagine that 30 million is off the table completely. I imagine he's going to have to do this fight for a small fraction of the cost. But see, this is the brilliance of the White House card and again, it wasn't even in Dana White's plans, but the reason why this is such a slam dunk in general for the UFC is because all fighters want to be on this card. It doesn't matter. What does that mean? Because of the historical significance, the fact that it's woven into the tapestry of the US is that they got a lot of wiggle room now for salaries. Oh, you normally get 10 million. Yeah, it's okay. If I can just get a spot on this card, I'll take 3 million. I'll take, oh, they're taking 3 million. I'll take 2 million. You know what I mean? Like, everybody wants to be on there. And what's crazy is it's not just Americans. Conor's dying to be on this card. I think Khamzat was told he will be on the card, but I think Khamzat wants to be on the card as well. So it's just, I don't know, man. This is, I'm going off a little bit on a tangent, but this fight card has got me very excited. And I think it's just, not that I want to say that I'm like a fan of the UFC having leverage and the advantage in negotiating power. It's not like that per se, but the fact that they do means, these fights are going to get made. They're going to get made fast, and they're going to be of the highest quality. Nobody is going to be coming up with any excuses. Oh, I can't fight then. It's too, nah. This is like, everybody's going to jump in on 2 days notice, 1 day's notice. It doesn't matter. Anyways, brilliant. Okay. Barat says, problem with McGregor versus Topuria. Maybe you guys were talking about this. I don't think we were talking about McGregor Topuria. The problem is McGregor versus Topuria is that McGregor does not deserve a title shot. Yeah, I mean, if it's McGregor at the top, dude, if it's McGregor versus Chandler or Diaz, they're gonna do the BMF title for sure. It's it's a foregone conclusion, or they'll come up with like the independence belt or something like that.
The BMF title, the badass motherfucker title is, hey, this guy's lost. He's 2-5 in the UFC, and Conor McGregor is 1-3 in his last 4. Like, cool, man. I'm excited about that.
They will. Yeah. What's that?
Put McGregor on a fight night. Main event of fight night. That's where he belongs. And that's not true. I'm just talking shit. I mean, obviously, Conor McGregor's been incredible for the sport, but again, it's an exhibition match. It means absolutely nothing.
Western says if Conor smokes Chandler, I could see them giving him Topuria. Look, man, I
don't think Topuria will take the fight. I don't think Topuria will take that fight.
I don't know, dude. He's champ. Well, no, wait. Pay-per-view points are gone now. I don't know how it'll work. I have no idea. Dude, he'd be a fool to not take it. Why would he not take it?
He'll get killed.
Wait. Topuria will get killed by Conor?
No, Conor will get killed by Topuria.
Oh, you're saying Conor won't want to fight Topuria?
Oh, I mean, he's going to go in there and get knocked out. He can't beat him. If he thinks he can, he's delusional. He can't even beat Dustin Poirier.
I think he might be delusional. I think Conor would take it, and I think Topuria would take it. Well, let's see what happens. The thing is, so you make really good points on the video. We're going to talk about Nate Diaz versus Conor, but the reason why I do think it's actually going to be Conor versus Chandler is because I think Conor wants Chandler. He said it in an interview on Fox and Friends that he wants to fight. He wants to fight Chandler. So I think because he wants it and he probably thinks he can beat Chandler, I think the UFC will give it to him. Barat says maybe BMF fight against Holloway or Ilya. If Ilya takes the belt before that, Barat says Jones has no leverage anymore. Yep. So UFC can probably make him fight for free since he's so desperate. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but it's going to go from like 30 million to like 2 million. I wouldn't be surprised. Somebody said this, imagine Conor and Khamzat at the same press conference. Oh my God. It's going to be good. Okay. Let's move on. We got another question of what's going on as well outside the UFC White House card. Who is going to fight Olivera? Apparently, as of now, Olivera is off the card. He's off the Rio card. So they can't find anybody to fight him. Now, Gamrot has actually spoken up and says, I'd be down to fight him anytime. Because Charles Oliveira was complaining. Nobody's stepping up. They're all complaining. They're whining. They're saying it's too short notice, whatever. He's like, where are all the fighters? Gamrot chimes in, hey, I'd take this fight. So don't throw me in there with everybody. I don't know what's true or what's not. I don't know if Gamrot is being told no, he can't have this fight. But Justin, let's take a look at the rankings real quick and let's talk about who you would like to see slid in there for Charles Oliveira, who, oh my God, I didn't even know he dropped to 4th. Wow. Okay, so Oliveira is down at number 4. Who do you think might be a good person to slide in?
Dan Hooker, no questions.
I think Dan Hooker is supposed to be fighting Arman. Those are the rumors. Let's say Dan Hooker and Arman Sarukian are out. Who else?
Paddy Pimblett.
That's what I say. Where is Paddy Pimblett ranked here?
He's right there.
Oh, okay, number 7. That's what I say. Now, this actually bothers me. Okay, I was hoping you were going to say that because this actually bothers me. Who was Paddy calling for after he beat Chandler? Do you remember?
No.
He was calling for Olivera. Now, Oliveira is about to fight Fiziev. Then they book that fight, whatever. Fiziev drops out. Right here, this is what Paddy asked for. This is what he called for. I believe Paddy can beat him, by the way. I know it's a very tough fight. I know people disagree with me. I somehow think Paddy can pull this off. But Paddy's not probably going to take the fight. And the reason why is because, again, he's not able to cut. This is what people have been saying anyways. Maybe it's not that. Maybe he just wants more preparation, a longer fight camp. But I think the reason why Paddy's not going in there is because of his weight issues. What do you have to say about that as a fighter?
Man, I mean, you're at the top of the game right now. You're in the top 10. You're looking to get in title contention. You have to be in shape and you have to be ready for a call at any time because if a main event falls out, I mean, there's a chance that he could get stuck in there and he needs more to be diligent about his weight. And again, we've talked about this before. How serious is this guy taking his career? He's cracked the top 10. And if he's not staying within distance to make weight on short notice, I mean, again, how serious is he taking his career?
It kind of bothers me, actually, to be honest, look, I like Paddy a lot. I think he's so great for the lightweight division. Now he's in the upper, he's one fight away from a title shot or theoretically up next for a title shot. I mean, that could happen. If the right things happen in the division and people can't make a fight against whatever, if somebody pulled out, like he could get in there. So he's right there. He's at the top. People are behind him, Oh, what is that? Hello, everyone from John Jones is a good human being. Nice. I like that.
Well, I think it's a new, I've never seen.
Oh, yeah. What's up? Welcome to the show. But I like Paddy. He's very skilled. I think he could actually do well. But I gotta say, the fact that he's not just jumping up and being like, I want this. We've heard nothing from him. He called for this fight. He's not jumping up and down saying, I want it, slide me in. And it's probably because of weight, man. It just makes me think that I just don't know, man. I wonder about him. I'd love to see him as champion. I think it'd be so good for the UFC. But I just feel if he is not at this stage in the game, taking the weight seriously and always being ready, like I know you, like Dan Ige, like a lot of fighters, you took so many short notice fights. How can you, like Justin, like what are your thoughts here? How can you expect to become a champion when you can't even be constantly in shape and constantly ready?
Well, that's the thing. He's had success in the past doing it this way. So like, if it ain't the old expression, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be broke real soon because he's going to be fighting guys that are diligent and they're hungry and they're doing all the right things in the off season. When I say the off season, in between fights, especially you look like Dan Ige, who's ready. I just weighed myself after I got done training today. I was 169 pounds. I can make 55 this weekend if I wanted to, and I'm not even in the UFC anymore. So it just goes to show Paddy Pimblett, again, coming through, he's had some great wins. He's cracked the top 10. But again, we talk about his longevity in the sport. How long is this going to be around if he's not dotting all his I's and crosses all his T's long term?
And look, I don't want to come off as being – I get annoyed when people are super critical of fighters when they don't fight. I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about, right? But let me give a little context to what I'm referring to. So obviously I don't have experience as a fighter cutting weight. I don't know that struggle. I don't know that battle. But what I do know about is how to stay committed and dedicated to something that you're working on and that you care about. And if you're trying to reach the pinnacle of whatever it is, right? My story and what I've worked on for such a long time. If you don't give 110% and all of yourself poured into this one thing, it's very, very hard to become one of the best in the world at whatever your vocation is. So like, to me, I feel like he's right there and I want to be a fan of Paddy. I want to get behind him. I want to see him give Ilya a run for his money. I think that'd be incredible. But yeah, I feel I'm already bracing myself for massive disappointment. It's only because I think he just can't get his eating under control. Is what it appears to be. It's just frustrating because it'd be so good for the UFC and the fan base. Yeah, dude, is there oh yeah, go ahead. Well, I was going to ask you this here. Let me throw this to you and then also if you had something else to say, of course. But I mean, is there anybody that would be like Ilya's a star? Yo, Paddy as champ would be. Do you agree that he'd be like 5 times of a bigger star?
Yeah, just because it's a shit talking ability. I mean, Ilya is great. He's an incredible fighter. But I just, Patty's just a better shit talker, man. And guys that, like Conor McGregor, if you can produce and sell, if you can sell the press conference, you can sell the fight. And that's the biggest thing when it comes to UFC. You got to be able to sell the press conference. You got to get people tuning in other than just your fight. You got to have people tuning into your interviews. You got to have people tuning into your press conference. If you don't have that, you're never going to be a superstar.
Dude, I hate to say it, but the pressers have been pretty lackluster lately.
Lackluster.
Like very lackluster. I was watching the Misfits presser being like, oh my God, this is what I've been missing for the last like multiple years. I know some people didn't like the Kobe versus Masvidal presser. I love that presser. That was like, they were going nuts on each other, but that makes it exciting to me. Seeing people going back and forth and having some real beef. And yeah, we just don't get that, but it has to be the right type of personality. And I think Patty, man, it's just such a bummer because I actually fully believe that Patty has the trash talking abilities, the personality, and the skills, but it's just this weight issue. And right here, this is it. Golden opportunity missed. Like if I was boys with him, I'd be like, what are you doing? But anyways, and by the way, little grain of salt you have to take my comments with. I don't know the full situation, so I am obviously opining on imperfect information. It could be something else. He could be having an injury right now. He could be, I don't know, in the midst of something personal and very important. Then that might be why he's not chiming in. But I don't know. I'm leaning towards the belief that it's that the weight issue. Okay, moving on. Want to touch on that. And by the way, John Jones is a good human being. What's up? What's up? Thank you for subbing. Welcome to the channel. Now we're going to get into Justin's video, coming back to this incredible moment in time, which will happen next June of 2026. We're talking about the UFC White House card. Justin, let me turn it over to you because I haven't seen a lot of people talk about McGregor versus Diaz 3 as the main event. However, when I did bring it up on the live stream on MMA Joey's channel, a lot of people, even MMA Joey, was like, actually, that'd be cool. He's like, actually, that'd be cool. Like, people are agreeing with this take. I think your video is starting to shoot up now in the views, probably because I think a lot of people resonate with this. Give us more details. Now, again, your caveat is, if Conor's the main event, this is what you want. Why?
Yeah, because again, they're talking about Conor McGregor says he wants Mike Chandler. And again, he wants Mike Chandler because you can beat Mike Chandler. But again, an exhibition bout for battle of the losers. Now, when you talk about somebody that's done a lot for the sport, Nate Diaz is deserving of these paydays. Nate Diaz shows up. He's entertaining in the press conference. He's entertaining during his fights. He flicks guys off. He slaps guys in the face. Like this is pure entertainment. And he shows up. These guys like John Jones that don't show up. They make stipulations. They have, drug misconduct. They're breaking the rules. Like why? Like John Jones constantly breaking the rules. And again, McGregor, has a toe injury. We talk about all these guys facing the injuries in the uphill battle during fight camp. McGregor gets a toe injury. He pulls out of his fight when he's supposed to fight Mike Chandler. Diaz doesn't pull out. Diaz shows up. He fights at 170. He hurt Leon Edwards in the 5th round. He didn't take advantage. Remember when he hurt him and he pointed at him? That, I mean, how entertaining, how much more entertainment do you want? We are in an era of UFC is a brand of entertainment. And there's nothing more entertaining than McGregor and Nate Diaz if we have to have McGregor in the main event. McGregor fighting Mike Chandler, there's no weight to the fight. It's an exhibition fight. It's a battle of the losers. I think that they should have a belt like, hey, who's the better loser of the two guys in the UFC? That will be the belt that McGregor and Chandler fight for. At least McGregor and Diaz has weight. That Diaz finished McGregor, before. McGregor comes back, wins a very close decision. Now they can settle their beef, and we can see who it goes. And I personally think Diaz would win.
Wow. Well, it's fun, but that might be a reason for the UFC not to put that on, if that's what you really think, because I do think they want McGregor to win. I think it would just be such a huge thing. Imagine McGregor on the mic after the victory speaking. It's gonna be crazy. But
he beat the biggest loser again. He's 2 and 5 in the UFC. He's the biggest loser in the whole sport.
Well, I just thought of something too, though. You mentioned the reliability, right? And Nate Diaz, I bet you he's never pulled out of a fight. I bet it's literally never, kind of like you, right? But the thing is, if Conor does have an issue or injury or something, the beauty of having Nate Diaz as the counterpart is now you have Nate Diaz isn't that much smaller of a superstar than Conor. Nate Diaz is a massive star. He even crossed over and fought Jake Paul. So then you actually have some security in that card, because if Conor does pull out, you could probably figure somebody else to slot. I mean, you could even slot Masvidal back in or something crazy like that, some old fan favorite to get in there for a rematch of the BMF title or something like that. Like, you could have some backup options. So from that perspective, it actually does kind of convince me that that could be a possibility. Now, the reason why I do think, and I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I really do about Chandler. And I understand you being a fighter probably feels almost like insulting because to have somebody basically main event, the biggest event of all time with a record of 2, you said 2-5 or 2-6?
2-5.
2-5. Yeah, with a record of 2-5. Like, I get that. But I think I would feel right now, my presumption is it's going to happen solely for one reason. And that's because Conor has himself said it. Conor wants it. Conor wants a victory. And in Conor's defense, dude, if Conor wins, I don't care who it is. If they put in anybody against Conor, you name him, I don't know, even like Tommy McMillan, put Tommy McMillan in. Actually, Tommy McMillan might beat Conor. But if you had Conor versus Tommy McMillan, I knew Conor was going to win. I watch it. I'd be down. I'd be happy. But that's maybe that's the casual in me. You know what I mean? Okay, so now let's say it's not McGregor. Ilya versus Islam, done deal. It has to be that matchup.
It doesn't say it has to be that matchup. That, I mean, if we're talking about the most historical fight card in the history of the UFC, we've never had two double champs fight off, especially if Islam and Ilya get one more defense prior to that. Now they're the defending champion at their weight class. He beats JDM, defends it once. Maybe now we have two defending guys at alternate weight class. Islam comes down to retain his 155 strap. Again, we're talking about history. We're talking about fights that we've never seen before. And we've never seen two double champs go at it. Two active double champs.
Is there some weird, crazy possibility? Hear me out here, okay? This is literally just, this idea just popped in my head, and I'm wondering if this is what's a possibility. Is there a weird possibility that Alex Pereira goes out, beats Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 321, and then John Jones is announced as the title contender for the light heavyweight, and he makes a return to light heavyweight for his final fight in the UFC, and that headlines the UFC White House card? Is there a universe where we might see John Jones versus Pereira?
I think John Jones is too big, but I'll tell you what, Pereira's a dog. I can see him going up to heavyweight.
Oh, yeah, but the problem is, I could see that too, especially, well, if he loses, I think a lot of people are saying he'd go up to heavyweight. We're going to talk about Pereira's weight right next, by the way. So I do see that happening. Yeah, but how would it work, though? Because what? He moves up to heavyweight, then John Jones comes and fights him, and then he wouldn't even be fighting for the title. I don't know. That'd be weird. Although I wouldn't put it past John Jones. He could fight whoever he wants now at this point. So maybe
hey, show him like you need to sit in line. You waited long enough. You got your title stripped. You need to get a win before you get a title shot. How awesome would that be?
That would be cool. What would you think of John Jones versus Alex Pereira? Who would you pick?
John Jones would probably be a late bull. Yeah, I'd take Jones. He's a weight bully. He'd be too big. He's like 250 pounds, 260 pounds. I think he's too big. But now, hey, look, you got a credible win. You know, John Jones to me doesn't have any credible wins. He fought a very bum Cyril Gane, in 2022 or 2023. He beat an old Miocic. And now this would be another fight that he should win because of his size and his skill. And now he has an argument at least to fight Tom Aspinall.
All right. Well, let's move. Since we did bring up Alex Pereira, I think it's a good time to move on to the next topic. Pereira, so UFC 320, UFC 320. Let me just double check. I think it's 10 days away, October 4th. Hold on. So we have 7. Oh, what am I saying? Not 10 days. It is 12 days away. Okay. So we are 12 days away from UFC 320, and we got Alex Pereira going up against Magomed Ankalaev. And apparently, Pereira weighed himself. And okay, we're still, like I said, 12 days away, but he's 29 pounds above the weight limit. I don't know. Is this normal? That's what I want to ask you.
I mean, it could be fabricated. A lot of fighters like to say that they're heavier than they are, especially leading up to the fight because they like people like, oh my God, how did you lose so much weight so fast? Or maybe, I don't know. There's so many things that could be. It might not be true. If it is true, I mean, has Pereira had a problem with making weight in the past?
No.
And
he's never missed weight. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. He's never missed weight, but he's weighed a lot historically. People say that Pereira's body is designed for cutting weight. Like when he was cutting to middleweight, like he would be coming very heavy. He would just lose it. A lot of it ends up being water. I don't know. Is that a thing in fighting, or some people is it really easy to cut weight for some people?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's person to person, especially I think early on in your career when you haven't done it a lot.
So, oh my God, Barat. I don't know if this is true. Look what Barat just posted. He's saying that Jones weighed how do we check that? If that's true, that's crazy.
Just check the weigh-ins. Just go to the weigh-ins.
Okay, hold on. Weigh-ins.
That's true. I mean, that's surprising because John Jones looks like he looked like he had a Daniel Cormier belly on him when he fought.
Wait. Yeah, he weighed it at 237.6. Whoa, that's wild. That is wild. That's wild that they were basically the exact, and that's after him like doing a full training camp and being as lean as in shape as possible. Dude, that's kind of crazy. So they're like the exact same weight, or maybe Jones a little heavier, but oh boy, I think this is I'm making a call right now. I think it's going to be Jones versus Pereira in some shape or form, whether it's for the light heavyweight strap, or whether it's at heavyweight for maybe some BMF belt or something random. What about that? What about a BMF title for John Jones versus Pereira? They would do it. Oh my God. I'm very intrigued now.
Like, now, Barat, when you say not a lot of muscle mass, like you've seen John Jones like ragdoll people, pick him up and slam him on their head, including Daniel Cormier. Do you mean just like not a weight muscle mass? Because John Jones is probably one of the strongest guys in the UFC at all weights.
Yeah, and let us know if you want to repost to respond to Justin right there. By the way, while we wait for Barat to chime back in, Barat also says, I am not excited for Chandler fights, unfortunately.
I'm with you.
I am excited. I got to say, like,
I think he should get cut.
But okay. I know your complaints about his techniques against Charles Olivera, but wasn't it, you didn't find it entertaining even?
I mean, what was entertaining about it?
Well,
I mean, he didn't do anything. It's just like when Cyril Gahn fought John Jones, like, this is level 1 shit. Like, why are you looking like a fool and trying to slam him backwards? That would never work against anybody. I just don't understand. Like, you're fighting like an amateur, and I just don't think guys that don't have a high fight IQ should be awarded for doing dumb shit.
Yeah, I know. And probably you as a fighter, a lot of that stuff annoyed you. Okay, I'll be honest here, and I hate to admit this. I was on my feet when he was doing the back slams. Like, I know it was ineffective. What's up, John Dong? I see you in here. Welcome back. I know it was ineffective. I get that, but I don't know, man. It was just, he was getting beaten up, and he was just like, he couldn't get anything off. I mean, he had that bit of success in the 5th round when he had the back of the head shots and was doing like illegal stuff and whatever. But so he had a little moment of success or where he turned the tides, but overall he got whooped that entire fight. And then to me, the story that I wove in my head was he's backs against the wall. He's getting destroyed, and he's just trying to do something to make it entertaining for the crowd. Like, it wasn't even him trying to get Charles off his back. He was just trying to get cheers. So he stood up, boom, and then he got back to his feet again. And like everybody was cheering, slams him, and he still lost. And also, dude, Charles Olivera put on a masterclass, dude, masterclass. Just he looked like a straight up Muay Thai. Like, that's all he ever trained. He looked so good in terms of his striking and fighting. So I was entertained, maybe because part of it was just, Michael. I also love the Michael Chandler Paddy Pimblett fight. Chandler got whooped in that fight, but I liked seeing what Paddy was able to do against him. So maybe it's more the other guys that he makes look exciting. But do you agree, or do you feel that at all? Like, did you like the Paddy fight at least because Paddy looked so good?
I mean, Paddy looked great, and he caught me off guard. I'm like, all right, this is a fight that Chandler can win. He just keeps disappointing me over and over and over. And I just don't think a win against Chandler at this point in his career means anything to anybody. It just doesn't mean anything, man. He's 2-5. Like, it's, who cares? Oh, you beat Mike Chandler? You did it, man. So does everybody else except Tony Ferguson.
I could see it being if Conor does want to fight again. And by the way, I heard President of BKFC Dave Feldman say that, hey, if Conor goes in there and gets this fight, and if he wins, he's gonna fight again in the UFC, and then he's definitely gonna fight in bare knuckle. So I could see it being a little bit of a resurgence for McGregor. And so to me, I look at it as a tune-up fight. I know they don't really do tune-up fights in the UFC, but it's kind of a tune-up fight for him. And I don't know. I'm a fan. I don't know, man. I just want to see McGregor win. So, but I get your frustration with Chandler. I get what you're saying. All right, we got a couple comments real quick. Western says, I'm the giddiest UFC fan. Yep, probably true. And John Dong has a question that I think is good for Justin. Do you think Merab will finish Sandhagen? Justin, you've obviously trained with Merab at Extreme Couture. What do you think?
No, it's not his style. He'll take him down and grind him out for 5 rounds and probably win like 50-44 or something like that. I always take the over when Merab fights.
Here's the thing, though. I was convinced there was no way Merab was going to finish O'Malley. And that's why I was thinking O'Malley was going to pull it off. I'm like, dude, he's got 5 rounds to do his thing. He's prepared. He's changed things up. And then Merab just surprised them. You think something like that could happen? Or you feel Corey Sandhagen's grappling or anti-grappling is more effective and better?
I think his anti-grappling is better. And remember, if you remember Corey Sandhagen versus Frankie Edgar, he had that teep kick that, I believe that was the fight that knocked Frankie Edgar out.
I know
I think he's going to be throwing a lot of knees. He's going to be throwing a lot of teep kicks to keep his range against Merab, because he knows. I mean, that's the thing about Merab. Merab is the greatest bantamweight of all time, because you know what he's going to do, and he's going to do it anyways.
Dude, this 320 card is so lit. It's so lit. I can't believe we need to talk about this more starting this Friday. Okay, look at this real quick. This is wild. And I think we've forgotten. Amazing main event. Incredible co-main event. Unbelievable 3rd round fight. Wait, let's see what else is listed. I mean, who doesn't love Josh Emmett? Oh, yeah. Remember we were talking about Josh Emmett recently? I forgot. He already has a fight. Remember we were talking about him fighting, what's his name?
I mean, are you really excited? I'm excited about the main event because of Alex Pereira, but Ankalaev, like, if he's fighting anybody else, like, I really couldn't care less.
Yeah,
about him fighting.
Oh no, I'm not saying. I get that. No, I love Alex Pereira. It's because this is a very interesting main event because Magomed basically did beat him on the feet for the most part. I mean, he had those 11 takedown attempts or kind of pushed him up against the fence, but it was a stand-up battle, and he kind of bested Pereira in the stand-up, which most people would say, what are you doing? Like, why would you even try that game plan? But he did it, and he proved successful. So I'm really curious to see. Plus, Pereira's team has been saying how he wasn't at his best, and he thinks he would win the second time around. So I'm very curious to see that. I do love it. Wait, what do you think about the co-main?
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I tell you what, and it's not the style, guys. It's not because I love Merab's style. I just love Merab as a person. This guy, I'm telling you, man, we're not buddies, and I don't want. And when I talk about fighters that I train with, I'm not buddies with all these guys, but I'm acquaintances. And when Merab comes onto the mat, it's just like he just is a ball of good energy, man. He's not on the mat trying to fucking hurt his opponents. He's on the mat just trying to make his craft better. He's making everybody else better. When you come into a gym like Extreme Couture, you're at the highest level that he's at, and you just bring that positive energy. It's just what's the word I'm looking for? Like you see it and it just makes you feel better. You know what I mean? Like you get your ass whipped by him, and he's gonna give you a handshake. Hey man, he's a guy that he's gonna whoop your ass, and then he's gonna give you hints or tips afterwards. There's been guys that I've trained with, that like whoop my ass. I'm like, hey Kevin Lee, hey Kevin, what's something I could do better? Oh, I don't know, man. Like I just, whatever, and then walks away. Or, and I don't mean to talk shit about Kevin because Kevin is actually our buddies, both from Michigan. But I mean, there's just guys like that don't. Mads Burnell, man. Mads Burnell puts me down with a body shot, and like there's times where I go up to him almost crying like, hey man, I wish I was better, man. I'm trying to make you better. And he'll slap me in the face, literally slap me in the face. Hey, shut your fucking mouth. You're a world-class athlete. Start acting like it, and blah blah blah, and not in a negative way. And I'm like, yeah, oh, wait, yes, sir. And then afterwards, James, hey, man, you need to stop with this negative stuff because you're going to implode. And when you have guys like that, like Merab, that are trying not only to get better himself, but get his team better, it's just, what's the word I'm looking for? Come on, give me the word. Like
he's an optimist. He's a positive.
Yeah, but just like, he's just going to fill you with joy and fill you with, you know what, Merab is the best bantamweight in the world. And he just told me that I can be great. I'm going to do better next time. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I don't know the word. I'm looking for a specific word, but you get the idea.
Yeah, I totally get the idea. No, but I love that type of energy. He's got good, positive energy. He's sharing it with people. He's trying to uplift people, and now it's fantastic. Look, dude, I try to do the same thing in my life on a daily basis, not on would I go here or there? I'm talking, I try to do that 24/7 as well. So I totally get that, and I appreciate that. I think it's so cool, obviously, to have that mentality and mindset and persona, especially in the fight game where you have to be a little ruthless probably from time to time. So no, I think it's great. By the way, I want to get back to Andrew, and I know Western says nothing interesting about the Jimmy Fallon quote. This is what Jimmy said. I was just shocked to see him go at the UFC White House event, because I'm like, why would you try and rain on this parade? Like, this is so cool. You're just being a punk, basically, in my opinion, because it's not even political. Like, why do you have to talk down about it when they're trying to do something so magnificent and incredible? It's such a big feat. But yeah, basically he made a joke and he's like, oh yeah, I saw the rendering. He's like, good, I'm glad I saw it, because I was afraid it was going to look ridiculous. And then everybody started laughing as if it did. Of course it looks ridiculous. It's like, what are you talking about? This looks amazing. They're talking about building arches on the White House lawn. They're talking about having all military in the audience, Navy, Army, Air. Like, what kind of a hater do you have to be to rip on them trying to put on an event like this? Like, we wouldn't be going out there doing that if it was an NFL game or basketball game. I'd be like, yeah, this is cool. Like, what? I don't know. Jimmy Fallon is so weird as a result, because I just don't. It must be a political agenda, and it's like, dude, who cares? Who cares? This is not a political thing. This is just about patriotism and sports and where they meet. An incredible event. Wouldn't you rather have this than some BS stupid like parade, or like just the typical?
Oh, yeah.
This is bad. This is so cool. Anyways, Barat. Oh, by the way, Barat did respond to you. I forgot. My point is that Pereira weighed 242 not long ago, but leaner than a 237 Jones. Hence the muscle mass comment. Maybe Pereira is a bit taller. Actually, I doubt it. Jones is tall. Jones is pretty tall. Maybe he is, though. I could be wrong. I have the same view as you, Justin, in regards to liking Merab and not his style. That's why I'm excited for his fights and looking forward to seeing if anyone can find a solution for his cardio. I used to not really love Merab's style. I like it now. Because, again, this is where me and you differ. Remember, we were talking about you like to see those crazy wars. I do like to see dominance. And I'm actually very fascinated by Merab now that he's gotten all this momentum. Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, I was rooting for Sean O'Malley. I'm a huge Sean O'Malley fan in that fight. But now I'm fully on the Merab train, and I want to see how far he can go. What if he can get 10 defenses? Okay, what were you going to say?
They're the same height, 6'4" to 6'4".
Oh, wow. Okay. Dude, they got to do that fight. I kind of want to see it.
I'd be way fine with that. I'd rather see that than Tom Aspinall.
Hey, let's do it. Let's do it, UFC. Oh, there's so many options now. This is too good. John Dong says, which BW? What does that mean? Which BW?
Bantamweight.
Oh, bantamweight. I'm an idiot. Which bantamweight in history of bantamweights has the highest chance of beating Merab? Go, Justin.
Tough to say, man. I mean, TJ Dillashaw, one of the greatest of all time, but no, I mean, we have to talk about the output, man. I mean, again, you guys don't understand unless you guys train. Against Peter Yan, he had like 50 or 49 takedown attempts. Like, you guys don't understand. When I'm coaching guys in a round, I tell them to get 2 takedown attempts a round. 2. That's 10 in 5 rounds. If you guys can't, in case you guys aren't math whizzes like Josefa, you know what I mean? 10 takedown attempts, and that's an exhausting pace. And right now, like when I'm sparring, I'm going to spar this week for the first time since my bare knuckle fight. My goal is 1 takedown attempt a round. You know what I mean? So when you have to output like 40 takedown attempts against the highest level of competition, I just don't see how anybody can keep up with that pace. Obviously, someone like TJ Dillashaw is very smart. He could knock him out. And that's the thing. Merab could get knocked out at any time. He has been knocked out in the past. But as a gambling man, as a statistic guy, like just because he's probably going to win doesn't mean he's always going to win. So, TJ Dillashaw could knock him out at any time. I mean, Cody Garbrandt could knock him out at any time. Cody Garbrandt in his prime, obviously not anymore. But if you guys remember the master class Cody Garbrandt put on Dominic Cruz, any of these guys at any time could knock out Merab. But from a percentage standpoint, I just don't think anybody could beat him.
I mean, I think Sandhagen's got a decent chance. I think he's got an interesting chance. I'm very curious. He's got a chance in the same way as O'Malley, except for I think like you mentioned, I think his grappling skills or anti-grappling are going to be stronger. I don't know.
I like this. I like Merab's style as long as Merab doing it. Barat, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, I just like Merab. Like, dude, you guys don't understand. This guy's such a nice guy, man. Like, I had my son. This is a true story. When my son was 12 years old, Merab and Aljo, yeah, I know you know the story.
I know the story,
in case our viewers don't. So my son's 13 years old. Merab and Aljo are standing out in front of Cox Pavilion. We were watching a Tough Enough fight or something. And I told my son, I was like, hey, I'll give you $100 if you walk up to those guys and tell them that they suck at fighting. And Ben's like, really? You give me $100? And I was like, yep, but you can't tell him I told you to. So my son like runs over to him and he's like, hey, what's up? And both of them look at him like, hey, what's up? And he's like, I just want to tell you guys, I don't think you're as good as you think you are. And Aljo looks at Merab, looks at him. He's like, how old are you, kid? And I like run over. I'm like, hey, guys, I'm just joking. This is my son. I'm like, Justin, man, I'm about to whoop your son's ass. I don't care if he's 12 years old because Aljo and I have a lot of history and we were good acquaintances. And Merab is just sitting there dying, laughing. It's just like, how cool is that? Like, you have this kid come up, start talking shit to you, and you guys just start laughing. Like, they didn't catch an ego and start, oh, fuck you or anything. They're just laughing, man. Just both those guys. Aljo, I don't know why Aljo gets so much hate. He's such a great guy, and he's helped me through. So me and Aljo both had neck surgery. You see my neck scar here. He had the same surgery. He helped me get through some really bad times just by talking to me, man. And not like every day, but bi-weekly, we'd have conversations about it and how he persevered. And both of these guys are just so great to have around. They're such great teammates. I can't say enough good things about these guys.
All right. Well, we got Merab coming back, and Aljo, I'm sure, will be in his corner in less than about 12 weeks, less than 12 days, less than 2 weeks. So that is very exciting. MGAL4 Productions chimes in, says Merab and Sterling are great guys. Most MMA fighters are cool. I 100% agree. We know that also from Montana, all those awesome amateur and early level professional fighters, all of them amazing. That's part of the reason why why I love commentating. I'm newer to the sport, obviously, in that respect, but I love to get to meet everybody. Okay. Finally, we get to the last question, just a little fun question I thought we could end on. Everybody's been talking about what's going on at 155. We're very excited. Ilya came up. He took basically no damage. That was back in June. Okay, end of June, but still, that was almost 3 months ago, right? And we've heard nothing. We've heard no announcements. We've heard the Islam versus JDM announcement. That's coming up soon, right? Can't wait for that. But we've heard nothing about Ilya. We've heard rumors that it's not going to be Arman Tsarukyan, that it's probably going to be Justin Gaethje, but then we hear crickets. Then we hear that Ilya is training his brother right now. His brother's in fight camp, and apparently they have an agreement that the other one won't take a fight while the other one's in fight camp. So, let me look this up. When is Topuria next fight? Let me see. So, I'll say Topuria's brother, because when I do that, it's just Ilya. His brother is fighting. What? No, that can't be right. Hold on. Kobe Thickness. No. Alexandra Topuria. Hold on. Let me look this up 1 second. Alexandra Topuria. Tapology. Sorry, guys. Let me just see where this is real quick. Okay, so he is fighting. No, it doesn't even list his next fight. Well, anyways, maybe it hasn't been scheduled yet, but apparently his brother's in fight camp. I don't know when that's going to happen and when that fight's going to materialize. But like, my point is we're sitting here waiting, and we haven't even heard anything. And there's all these great contenders that want to step up and fight Ilya. When do you think we're going to see a fight for the belt and lightweight?
I mean, it's going to have to be next. I mean, maybe Ilya just after his brother fights, maybe then he puts the Gaethje fight. I would love to see Justin Gaethje. I think he needs to be paid off for doing UFC a favor for UFC 300, and this would be the time to pay him off. And Justin Gaethje wins or loses and rides off from the sunset, because I really don't want to see Justin Gaethje take much more damage. He's a really nice guy. Again, just like most of the guys that we talk about. Just great to have around, positive energy. I just would hate to have him catch some CTE late in his career because all the damage he takes.
Western says, I just made him yawn. Dang, sorry, dude. I was trying to look it up. But MGAL4 Productions to the rescue. He says Alexandre Topuria is fighting Bezkat Almakan. I don't know when that is, but he's saying they will announce the fight soon. And then MGAL also says Gaethje has taken enough damage. I want Gaethje to come back and get this last shot. Let's go. Meanwhile, we need... Come on, dog. Paddy Pimblett, get in there. Let's fight Olivera. You called for it. You asked for it. It's right there on a silver platter. Get in there. And you'd have a leg up because Olivera was training for Fiziev, basically a straight up Muay Thai fighter. Like, let's be real. You're going to come in with a nice little advantage. He's going to have to shift his training camp around for the next few weeks before he fights you. So if you can do it, if you're healthy, and if you can make the weight cut, come on, dog. Step up. We need this as UFC fans. Come on. You can bring some life. Well, 155 is lit. Don't get me wrong, but it would be amazing if he would get in there. All right. Well, that is pretty much it. We have come to the end of our show. Thank you guys so much for joining. I do want to remind you guys one more time, check out the video that Justin made about the White House main event where he says, hey, we should have McGregor versus Diaz 3 as the main event if McGregor will be fighting again. He goes through a number of other fights that he kind of dismisses. One of those is obviously John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. So listen to that. Check it out. Let us know what you think in the comments. And let us know also how excited you guys are as well for this UFC White House card, which I believe will happen. We got a couple more comments and then we're going to close out. Oh yeah. Tehran says Lopez wants to fight. I heard that. What I heard was not that he's like dying for it, but Diego Lopez said something like, yeah, if they ask me, I'll do it. I've never turned down a fight in my career. That's Diego Lopez. But what if you do that, then what? What is he moving up to 155 or he's just stepping in and moving back down? Like, I don't want to see him move up, take the fight and then go back to 145. Right. Do you agree?
I'd be okay with it, man. I mean, dude, like we're talking about solidifying careers here. Diego Lopez, what an incredible showing he just had. I mean, imagine he goes up and fights a former champion, beats him in grappling per se, and then goes back to featherweight. I mean, what a feather in the cap, man. And at the end of the day, I love guys that risk it big, you know, and what's his name? I'm trying to think, oh man, former champion who went up a weight class and he lost. He's trying to become the double champ. 170 to 185. No, Israel Adesanya.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Adesanya, middleweight to light heavyweight.
Everyone got so much flack, you know, for when he went up and lost. Like, oh man, you shouldn't have done that, this and that. No, he's daring to be great. He's daring to do things that most guys never have. And for Diego Lopez to go up to lightweight, beat a former champion, what a feather in the cap that would be, and what an incredible win that would be, and a memory he'd have forever. Because Olivera, to me, is one of the greatest lightweights of all time. Had a bad start in the UFC. Became a champion, had a bunch of title defenses. He's lost, unfortunately, to Islam. And, for Diego Lopez to take on such a tough competition at this point in his career is nothing short of amazing.
It would be cool. I get it for Lopez. I guess here's my concern is I would for example, I would rather have a title contender in the 155 division fight Oliveira if they're going to beat him and get the rub to kind of propel them upwards towards a title shot versus Lopez is going to come in. Let's say he beats Oliveira. And then Oliveira gets kind of injured in the rankings, and then Lopez just moves back down. Or if Diego Lopez was like, nope, I'm moving up, the weight cut's too difficult, I'm going to stay at 155, then I'm all about it. I just am not the biggest fan of him moving up for a non-title shot lightweight fight near the top of the division, fighting number 4, winning, and then just going back. Like, I don't know. That's the part.
He's saving the card. He's saving the card. And I'll tell you what, not only is he saving the card, like, I want to see Oliveira fight. I don't care who it's against. I mean, this is a guy that I'm going to tune in no matter who he fights. And Diego Lopez stepping up, I mean, he's saving the fight, he's saving the card, and it's going to pay dividends in the UFC long term, I think.
Actually, the fight would be crazy. Would you tune in? Of course.
You would. Why? Are you going to tune in for Lopez or Oliveira?
I mean, both.
Trick question. Both, of course.
Yeah.
Like who? So Oliveira is supposed to fight who? Who was he originally supposed to fight?
Fiziev.
Don't give a fuck about Fiziev. I couldn't care less about him. I couldn't care less about Gamrot. I'm never going to go out of my way to tune in to watch these guys fight. But I'm going to tune into that fight because of Oliveira. Now you get Diego Lopez, who I'm going to tune in to fight every time. And you have Oliveira, I'm going to get tuned in to fight every time. The only reason you're going to watch Fiziev is because of Oliveira. Now you get 2 guys you want to watch. I think it's a masterclass.
Well, I will say, me personally, I am a fan of Fiziev because he does have that hardcore Muay Thai striking style, which I really like. But I get your point. I actually do understand, and you have kind of changed my mind. I think the one thing I'll say this then, from everything you just said, Diego Lopez is a cool matchup comparatively to Fiziev. I still would prefer Patty though, because Patty is fun. Patty's got a great style, and Patty has after that he'll get a title shot, and we can have this dream matchup of Ilya versus Patty, which I've been waiting for. Like, nobody would say anything once he beats Oliveira. But I get what you're saying. If that can't be done, I'll take Diego Lopez. Okay, guys. Go for it.
Sorry. I know you don't feel good and you want to get off. But listen, think about this. Toron says Lopez versus Holloway, BMF, White House. Co-main, Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz. Main event, Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes 2. Co-main event. That, to me, the dream matchup for White House card, maybe I'll make a video on this, but you've made so many videos about the White House card, I don't want to sound redundant. My dream White House 3 fights: Islam versus Ilya, main event; Conor versus Nate Diaz, co-main event; co-main event; Lopez versus Holloway, BMF; co-main event; Amanda Nunes versus Kayla Harrison for number 2. I think that would be my 4 fights to make. if I'm talking about the greatest card of all time.
And Hamzat versus Sean Strickland. Let's go for number 5. Boom.
Main event for the co-main or for the prelims.
Oh, come on. No, you can't put Hamzat on the prelims. That's an insult. But yeah.
By the way, I'm always wearing a singlet.
I just got like a crazy singlet from Gold's Gyms. I never had one before. I didn't even really know what I was buying, and then I put it on. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. This is like
you gotta
very.
wear it, like, and then when you get your girlfriend in the bedroom, just take your clothes off. Just wear your singlet. And
all right, I'm gonna have to do that next time. I'm gonna ask Nicole what she thinks about that. All right. Anyways, guys, that's all for our show today. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to all our regulars chiming in. As always, we got Tehran, MGAL4 Productions, Western. We've got Barat, who I feel like is becoming a regular. Andrew, John Dong, who we, of course, know from the MMA Joey chats. Everybody who's been in here, if I miss anybody, I apologize. But everybody who's been in here commenting, making the chat what it is, we really, really appreciate it. As always.
New sub too.
Oh, yeah. John Jones is a good guy or whatever. That's a great name. Oh, my God. But anyways, thank you so much for joining. And as I mentioned before, we got content coming out on the daily. I'm actually about to make a new video right after this as well, having to do with MMA Guru. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys so much for joining. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.